Oh my God, it is. Oh my God. It's like running. Okay, not for nothing, because I'm a chubby girl, but when you drive down my town, I almost want to go around to show you, but I probably shouldn't because it's like rude. But when you drive down my town, like people, okay, when you drive down my town in the morning, like through town to get to work, like people are walking, people are sitting out on their porches, drinking coffee. As I was driving the road out of town, cute front porch, and he like walked outside and he had boxer shorts on and he had a big beer belly, and he walks outside as I'm like, you can only go 15 miles an hour, so you have quite a long time to see people, and he just does this monster stretch like to the world. And you're like, yeah, that's my town. You know, you're not going to see a lot of, it's real dichotomous, my town. It's one of the more affluent towns of Cecil County. But at the same, you know what I mean? Like, it's probably more affluent than like Elkton or Rising Sun might have more money, but Rising Sun is like farms and like spread out, you know. And Conowingo, where I live, was probably not affluent. And where I grew the kids up, that was out in the woods, like, you know, neighbors or anything. But so funny, they talk different out there. Okay, so if you're from Cecil County, they have this accent. They call it like Ceciltucky, but it really isn't a Kentucky accent. It's more West Virginia. A lot of people from Beckley, West Virginia moved here. I don't know why, what the correlation is, but I think it was just family, because especially what I'm saying, especially in Conowingo, which is where I raised my children. Because my husband, we started out in Philadelphia, and my husband was like, yeah, we're not raising 3 boys in the streets of Philly. Come on. You're going to the country. Now, he was from Valley Forge Mountain. I was from Philly. So I didn't know anything about the country, but I thought it looked cute. I didn't realize how hard it was, because it really was hard in a whole different way. Where like you have to do everything yourself, you know? You can't call. In Conowingo, like, there wasn't any plumbers to call. You better know somebody who knew how to plumb, you know? And that's how they talk. Like, and sometimes I talk like them when I'm being all silly. But that's how they talked. But more than that, they would mix that talk into Amish. So, and with the Amish, or Amish is a lot of people like to call them. With them, they say their sentences backwards. It's Dutch. It's like German, basically. So you don't say, throw some hay over that fence for the horse. You say, and I'm going to use my Dutchy accent, you say, throw the horse over the fence, his hay. That's what you say. So it's like all backwards, right? Throw your mother down the steps, her slippers. Okay, do you get it? So it's like, that's how their sentences are structured. So when they speak English, that's how they speak it. Anyway, the one thing that kind of clicked in Cecil County, well, Conowingo area, Perryville, more Port Deposit than Perryville, but in that area, was how to say either or. Now, I would say something's black or white, or I would say it's either black or white. But that's not how you say it in Ceciltucky. You say it's black or white, one. And it kills me. It's black or white, one. So you're saying it's either black or white, one of the two. But they don't say it like that. And so we just got very used to hearing things like that, but that was probably my best. The other thing, Ceciltucky, was how they said Habit of Grace. Okay, so Habit of Grace is a town below, in Harford County, Maryland. It's like below Cecil County, Maryland. But everybody who was new, like me or my husband, we said Habit of Grace. Because that's how it's spelled. Have a D-E Grace. But they don't. They said Habit of Grass. So you could always tell where somebody was from, or like how long they lived there, if they were born in Maryland. You could always tell by how they said Habit of Grace. Because if they said Habit of Grass, that was the, I guess, original pronunciation, even though it's not spelled that way. So, yeah, it was fun. My neighbors were these little tiny people. Like, they literally, I think the woman, we'll call her Kay, she, like, was maybe this tall to me. And I'm only 5'3". And then her husband was maybe my height. And they had 4 boys in this tiny house. They lived in this tiny house, but they owned it. And they had every lawn ornament known to man on this tiny little plot of land. That was my only neighbor. Now, if you went across the street, there was the house on the hill, and that was rented to this or that people. Like, I didn't know half of them. Some of them I did. And, so that was like a rental, but that was it. You had to walk, you know, through a couple cornfields to find another neighbor. And Kate's one son, who lived with them, he was like really good friends of ours. And but it was Cecil County. Like, all of a sudden I would hear something on my porch. The first night I was there, let me tell you this. The first night I was there, I was so sure Jason was coming out of the woods. And my husband, Wolf, had to leave on the truck to go to, like, Maine or something. So he drops us off. We move in with everybody from D.C. because that's where I'd moved from, D.C. to up there. We had lived in D.C. for a short period of time. And then, oh my gosh, like, and then I was left in the woods. And this is a girl that, like, really didn't have a lot of woodsy kind of life. So my idea of the woods was going behind, Robindale Apartments in Havertown, where there was this little creek, and pretending to catch fish. I mean, literally, it was like a little path between 2 big roads. I mean, we just didn't have that. We didn't have like acres and acres of land. And so the first night I moved in, the kids we had nothing for the windows, and Wolf was like, well, that doesn't matter because nobody's out here. But I was like, Freddy's out here. You know, I was like scared. So he leaves, and I'm in there just like looking around at this house I don't know, at these kids. I was like, fuck. And again, I'm not usually really scared of like spiritual stuff. I'm more scared of like the psycho guy that's gonna really come to your house. You know what I mean? Like a human that has bad intent is more scary to me. So I just was like, oh my God, Freddy is in these woods. I know it, there's just woods everywhere, and the sun's going down, and I got nothing to put up on the curtains. So I'm just like, anybody, but there's really nobody. There's not a soul around. And Wolf leaves. And I was like tearful. He was like, I'm so sorry, I have to go. And I'm like, I know. So he leaves, and I'm just like, am I gonna make it through the night? And then the kids go to bed. And I'm like, oh my God, we had no TV yet, nothing like that. There's just silence and empty windows, black-eyed windows staring at me. Just like, oh my God. So I didn't know how to use a gun, but I got my husband's shotgun, out of the closet. Had to figure out how to put it together. I did not load it, but I put a shell in my bra and sat at the bay window like this and fell asleep. Like, sitting up at the bay window. My kids, like, with the shotgun on my lap, and my kids, like, woke up in the morning, they're like, Mom, what's wrong? And I was like, oh shit, I got a shotgun on my lap. I'm like, nothing, guys. And I just, like, grabbed the shotgun, wander into the other room. I was so scared. I really was. I just was waiting. If somebody would have, like, shown up at my window just to say hi, I would have absolutely blown them away. Well, that being said, we finally met the neighbor kid. And, well, when I say kid, he was, like, our age. But he was a kid to who I was talking about. And I finally met him, and we became friends. And so one day, not long after all this, maybe, 4 months, I'm still nervous about the woods. It just makes me nervous, but not now, but it did then. So one day I hear stuff on the porch, and I'm like, what the hell? So I'm like, what is going on? And I hear more stuff on the porch, and I'm like sneaking up to it thinking, should I go get the shotgun? And I pull back the curtain because the porch had like these 12-foot glass sliding doors. They were beautiful, out to the woods. It was beautiful. It just scared the shit out of me, but it was beautiful. And I open up the curtain like this, and there's a face there with a ski mask on, and I was like, ah! And he pulls the ski mask up, and it's fucking him, the neighbor. And I'm like, oh my God, if I had that shotgun, I would have shot him. I don't even know how to shoot. I would have shot him. And he's like, oh, I just was bringing you pumpkins. And it was like around Halloween. And he was just like loading pumpkins. I'm like, how many pumpkins? He's like, for the kids. He gave me like 20 pumpkins. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with 20 pumpkins? You only carve so many. You only can do so much. He's like, oh no, the kids will love them. I didn't ask where he got the pumpkins. Probably some neighbor's fields. Because we just had fields and fields all over. We used to do a lot of shopping from the Amish because their stuff's so inexpensive. There's a place called Benny Byler's. It's a store in Lancaster, and you go with like $50 and you can get food for a month. Like, maybe not all meats, but like for the kids, like meats, because I ate meat back then. But maybe not all your meats, but you could get everything else, from butter to cheeses to every kind of canned food, every kind of cereal, every kind. Now, it might be Iranian Captain Crunch, but it's Captain Crunch. And so it might have Iranian writing on it or whatever, Middle Eastern writing on it, but it was Captain Crunch. And with 3 kids, hell yeah, I used to take the Ida minivan, and it was a cool drive. And we would get together, like 3 or 4 different women would get together to go to Byler's. Let's go to Byler's. And so I used to drive all the time because I would have to take the minivan because I had I had a transport minivan. It looked like a moon car. And yeah, I'd take everybody to Byler's and we'd load up the back of the van. I mean, it's just crazy how much food you can get. So it's kind of fun living there. Like, all summers we spent on Octorara Lakes. So me and the kids were always at the beach. And it wasn't a beach like the shore, but it was a big lake. And yeah, it was fun living there. I liked raising the kids there. They got raised just like Wolf wanted them, barefoot, running through the woods. That's what he said. He was from Valley Forge Mountain. Me, I was like, yeah, they'll never see a play. And they didn't for a long time. Not until high school, till we moved to Northeast. Northeast was much more diverse, and because let me tell you what, it was not diverse in Conowingo or Rising Sun. That diversity would not be how I would classify it. But that being said, it's a lot's changed. It's right on the Mason-Dixon line, and it used to be like everybody's claim to fame, like with rebel flags and stuff. It's not like that. I would imagine some people are like that, but it's not like that anymore as a rule. You know, when I see the classes, they're all mixed. We were the only Jew down there at all. Like, people were like, "You're a Jew?" And I didn't announce it a lot because I wasn't sure how that would fly. And then to tell them I'm a witch on top of it, that I do witchcraft. But I worked, that's where I started working the psychic lines, and I used to do all kinds of readings. The main church was a Baptist church, and the preacher's wife used to come down at night and get readings from me in the middle of the night. She was afraid her husband would find out. Pretty cool. Anyway, that's just a little about where I raise my kids.